Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. Call InventHelp today.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-352-1609. That's 1-800-352-1609.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method and to get your free report, go to 52security.com. That's the number 52security.com. 52security.com. Go to 52security.com.
Hurt or injured in a car accident? It can be hard to take the proper legal action after a car accident, but waiting can cost you more. The law requires car accident victims to assert claims promptly. You could lose out by simply waiting. Call 800-709-4667 right now to see what your claim could be worth when handled by a skilled attorney. With a lawyer fighting and speaking up for you, you could be entitled to a big cash award. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Now it's fast and easy to connect with the legal help you need after your car accident. Call 800-709-4667. The call is free, but you need to act now before time runs out on your claim. You need a lawyer to fight for you, protect you, and get you the compensation you need and deserve. Time's wasting. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Call now.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
You shouldn't have to pay to talk to the people closest to you, or the people who used to be. That's why Umbrella Wireless is proud to announce the new Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan. Now you'll get unlimited calls to your best buddy, your mom, or Cindy, once she realizes that you're seriously meant for each other and should stop screening your calls. Now the 30 minutes of agonizing silence where you're both afraid to hang up may drain your battery, but it won't drain your wallet. And you'll get unlimited calls just to check if she still cares enough to pick up, with no extra charges. With the Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, your phone will automatically answer calls from your ex, because maybe she finally realizes that you're the only one for her and wants to get coffee sometime. Now, after lonely nights of looking at pictures of the road trip you took together when everything was great, your misspelled texts are absolutely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the booze. The Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, because she wants you back. She just doesn't know it yet.
Rod Eccles Show.
And we are back. Hey, a Pasco teacher, and for those of you who don't know where Pasco is, this is in Florida, in the Tampa Bay, Sarasota area, and this is a WTSP.com story. Pasco teacher suspended. Now, you won't believe why this teacher was suspended. This teacher was suspended for trying to get control of his classroom. I kid you not. He was trying to get control of his classroom. And he was trying to get control of his classroom because the students there were obviously ignoring and disrupting the class with their cell phones. So the teacher, who happens to be a science teacher, thought that he would do something rather unique and novel. Now, of course, it turned out to be slightly illegal, but he got caught and he got suspended for using a jamming device, a cell phone jamming device in his classroom. Now, here's the story. A science teacher fed up with students on their phones in class is now jammed up with the school district. A Pasco County instructor is busted using a cell phone jamming device in his classroom. Now, Dean Liptak, Liptak, says he was trying to get students to focus on the lesson and not on their phones at Fivay, Fivay High School in Hudson, Florida. Now, it costs Liptak a 5-day suspension without pay. It's also illegal, but the district says that Verizon chose not to prosecute him. Now, the district is concerned. Now, you got to. This is the funny part. It's not funny. I mean, it's an awful thing to even think about. But this is what some of the people are saying about it. Now, the district is concerned that the device, the jammer, puts students' safety in danger. The student safety is in danger because they can't make a phone call or get phone calls. Yeah, I kid you not. Now, Liptak tells the district he only thought the cell phone jammer would impact his classroom and get his students to put down their phones and pay attention. Now, the illegal device impacted a lot more than that. They usually do. And the district says this isn't the first questionable decision by this teacher. Now, Verizon had come to the school saying someone had a jamming device because the cell phone service was being interrupted in the area. And here's why. A Pasco County School District spokeswoman, Linda Kobe, says Liptak's jamming device blocked communication to the cell tower on the 5A high school campus. What the hell is a cell tower doing on the campus? So the kids can get a stronger signal? Look, I fully, I understand that rent has to be paid for. Look, you don't put cell towers on public school property. Now, if you're going to use the old saying that, well, if he's jamming it because it could be a safety issue. Well, what the hell do you think is going to be a target at the start of a war? A communications tower. What do you think is going to be a target for, say, some terrorist groups? A communications tower. And if you think that, well, we have way too many cell towers to be targeted, you better think again. If you knock out a few strategically, now I don't know which ones are strategic, but if somebody's studying the whole thing, if you knock out a few strategic ones, you knock out a whole bunch of them. Because there are a lot of towers that are not full towers, they're repeaters. In other words, they're amplifying a signal from another tower. So they're not a full. So if you knock out the tower, then the repeaters don't work. See what I'm saying? And that's just common. Look, I know that kind of thing from working in the paging industry back in the 90s. The same thing was happening. You know, they had these towers, and they had these repeater towers because they were cheaper and easier and faster to put up and maintain than a full-fledged tower. And they were pointing towards a full-fledged tower, and they amplified the signal of that tower farther. Saves money. But if you knock out that main tower, that repeater isn't going to work because it's tied to the tower. And now they say the consequences could have been dire. It was jamming the signal, so 911 calls couldn't be made. It would affect an emergency in the school. What's wrong with the landline? School still has a landline. Now, here's another saying. Somebody else said about it. God forbid if a child is under a desk because there's a gunman in there, I would want him to reach into his pocket for his cell phone, says parent Marty Cornell. Are you worried about guns in your school? You're worried about the safety of your child because you think that some gunman's going to come in there? But you don't think that some terrorist isn't going to want to knock out the cell tower? Now, Liptick said that says he talked with a deputy who apparently told him the jammers are only illegal when used with bad intentions. No, that's not true at all. It's against FCC laws. You can't be jamming people's signals for anything, for any reason. And look, I'm not condoning jamming cell phone signals in your classroom. But I am saying that there's a problem when this teacher goes to this length to get control of his class. And parents are more worried about a gunman coming to the school and their kid being under a desk and not being able to make a cell phone call. Hey, parents, how about the teacher was so frustrated because your kids were using cell phones in the classroom? Nobody's thinking of that. Nobody's talking about, well, this teacher felt so powerless to stop it that the only thing he could come up with was a jammer. Why isn't anybody talking about that? They're all talking about, well, the kid's safety was no, the kid's safety, are they paying attention to anything when they're on the phone? No, that's why. Yeah, look, that's why people walk into things when they're on their phones. You ever see people try to walk and text or surf the web while they're while walking down the street? It's hilarious. I see people do it all the time. They'll walk into a tree or a lamp pole. Oh, I've walked into a tree. I've never walked into anything while looking at my phone, though. But I have walked into a tree, and I have walked into a door that I thought was open because I wasn't paying attention because I was looking at something else. Not my phone, but I was looking at something else that was going on in the street. But if that can it is kind of embarrassing. I'll admit it. But I see people do it all the time, walking into the street lamps and posts and trees and doors and buildings because they're looking at their cell phone, not where they're going. And they're looking in such a manner where their head is fully down. I mean, I'm always amazed at how people just sort of disconnect from the world around them by looking all the way down on their phone. I mean, their head is like looking on if you remove the phone, they'd be looking at their feet. That's how far their head is down. Now, when I look at my phone when I'm walking, I hold my phone up. So if you took away the phone, whatever my eyes would be focused on next isn't my feet, it's out in front of me. But people tend to look, when the people that tend to look all the way down at their feet with their phone, they're the ones that are running into stuff. Because they can't focus, and they're not paying attention, and the whole world is blocked out. But if you hold your phone up as you're walking, you get a picture of all sorts of things around you. I mean, you're still not 100% focused on the things around you, but you're most likely not going to walk into a tree or a building or something. But let me tell you, when you're in class, what is the thing that you're not holding the phone up because